The Labour Party is in complete turmoil. Keir Starmer is now facing the greatest revolt of his leadership, but this isn't coming from the opposition, it's coming from his own MPs. Over 80 Labour MPs have turned against him, furious over a deeply controversial set of welfare cuts that many believe target the most vulnerable in Britain. This isn't just a fringe protest or a few disgruntled backbenchers. It's a full-scale rebellion, with a message that is resoundingly clear: resign now or face a mutiny that could tear the party apart. The heart of this storm is Starmer's proposed overhaul of the welfare system. His plan, which he defends as a reform, would significantly tighten the rules surrounding personal independence payments, PIP, and reduce key incapacity benefits. The human cost is immense. Up to 700,000 families could see their support drastically reduced or entirely stripped away. These aren't just numbers on a page, these are real people, real lives, families already struggling under the pressure of economic hardship. And Starmer's response? To take even more from them, all in the name of saving £5 billion. Let's be clear, this is not reform, it's economic cruelty. Starmer's own MPs are not staying silent. A letter circulating among Labour ranks has already collected more than 80 signatures, with 42 MPs publicly declaring that these cuts are impossible to support. This is not private dissent, this is open rebellion. MPs are calling the plan a betrayal of Labour's core values, stating that it resembles Tory-style austerity dressed in a red banner. The Labour Party, founded on principles of compassion, fairness, and solidarity, is now led by a man who appears to be dismantling the very safety net the party was built to protect. But it doesn't end there. In a move that has only fueled the outrage, Starmer has also slashed the UK's foreign aid budget. His justification is to redirect funds into defence spending. So while malnourished children suffer in conflict zones and refugee camps become more overcrowded, Starmer is cutting off vital lifelines and spinning it as a display of strength. Even members of his own shadow cabinet have had enough. Annalise Dodds, Labour's International Development Minister, resigned in protest, calling the decision a morally indefensible betrayal, and refusing to support a policy she could not endorse in good conscience. Veteran MP Diane Abbott was equally scathing, condemning the welfare and aid cuts as a disgrace to Labour's history, an attack on both domestic dignity and global responsibility. According to Abbott, Starmer's policies undermine stability at home and abroad, and violate the very ethos Labour once stood for. The backlash is growing louder by the hour, spilling from quiet corridors into the headlines. Some MPs are demanding an immediate reversal of the proposals, while others are going further, calling for Starmer to resign altogether. This is not simply a disagreement over policy, it's a crisis of leadership. Unless Starmer changes course, it could mark the end of his leadership. The Labour Party is tearing at the seams. What once appeared to be a united front heading into a potential general election victory, is now collapsing under the weight of internal fury and disbelief. Party members are outraged and grassroots activists, the lifeblood of Labour's movement, are threatening to walk away in droves. Constituency Labour parties across the country are preparing motions of no confidence. The question on everyone's lips is no longer whether Keir Starmer's policy direction is controversial. The question now is how much longer can he hold on? Because this is not just a small clique of left-wing firebrands throwing rhetorical stones, this is a full-blown insurrection. Dozens of Labour MPs are standing up and saying enough is enough. They're not just voicing concerns, they're making demands. Full impact assessments of the proposed welfare changes, an immediate reversal of cuts to disability support, a reinstatement of foreign aid, the threat is clear. If Starmer doesn't change course, they will go to war with their own party leader. Let's talk about what these welfare cuts actually mean in real terms. Starmer's proposed tightening of eligibility criteria for personal independence payments, PIP, and other incapacity benefits could throw hundreds of thousands into crisis. For many disabled people, PIP is the difference between independence and destitution. It covers the cost of wheelchairs, carers, mobility aids, and essential needs like heating bills. For Starmer's leadership team, it's a mere budget line. For those impacted, it's a matter of survival. The government's own figures suggest that up to 700,000 families could be affected by these changes. These aren't abstract statistics, these are real people with real needs. And what's the justification? To save £5 billion in public spending. This is not reform, it's economic cruelty dressed up as pragmatism. And many Labour MPs, including those who were once loyal to the leadership, are no longer willing to stomach it. Where is the compassion? Where is the sense of solidarity that once defined the Labour movement? What happened to standing with the underdog? Keir Starmer's Labour is beginning to resemble David Cameron's Conservative Party, technocratic, managerial, and disturbingly detached from the people it claims to represent. And the cuts don't stop at the UK's borders. In a move that has shocked even his staunchest allies, Starmer has slashed Britain's foreign aid budget, a policy widely condemned as both heartless and short-sighted. Under the pretext of prioritizing funds, Labour is now channeling money into military spending while humanitarian crises worsen abroad. Refugee camps are overflowing, famine is looming in conflict zones, and Labour, once a symbol of international justice, is now turning its back on the world's most vulnerable. The backlash has been swift and unrelenting. Shadow Cabinet member Annalise Dodds, Labour's own International Development Minister, resigned from her position in protest. Her statement was damning. She called the aid cuts morally indefensible, and accused Starmer of abandoning Labour's core values. Her resignation has sparked a wave of discontent within the party, with more frontbenchers reportedly considering their options. Veteran MP Diane Abbott has also been scathing in her condemnation. She publicly denounced the welfare and aid cuts as a betrayal of Labour's legacy, labeling them a disgrace and warning that they not only threaten the party's reputation but also the very moral foundation upon which it was built. Abbott's critique resonated far beyond Westminster. Her words have been echoed by activists, union leaders, and community organizers across the country. Online, outrage is rapidly growing. Disability rights campaigners have mobilized quickly, and petitions opposing the cuts have gathered tens of thousands of signatures in just days. Hashtags condemning Starmer's betrayal are trending on social media. Labour's traditional support base, working-class communities, marginalist groups, and the socially conscious, are looking at their party and asking one question: why is the leader of the opposition acting like a Tory Prime Minister? Let's not mince words. If Rishi Sunak had proposed the same policies, slashing benefits for disabled people, and cutting foreign aid to fund defence, Starmer himself would have been all over the news, calling it heartless austerity and ideological vandalism. But when it's his policy, suddenly it's necessary, even noble reform. The hypocrisy is staggering. Starmer was elected on a platform of unity, integrity, and transformational politics. But what have we seen instead? Transformation, yes, but into something colder, more authoritarian, and completely disconnected from Labour's historic mission. Disabled people are being punished, the world's poorest abandoned, and communities neglected. Even those closest to him are starting to jump ship. Behind closed doors, shadow cabinet ministers are reportedly furious. Some are actively considering resignations, while others are whispering about leadership challenges. One senior party figure described the atmosphere as mutinous. If the leadership is in turmoil, the grassroots are already aflame. Local Labour branches are beginning to break ranks. Constituency Labour parties, CLPs, from Bristol to Birmingham are tabling emergency motions demanding the immediate reversal of the cuts. Some are even proposing votes of no confidence in the leader himself. The grassroots army that powered Labour's resurgence under Jeremy Corbyn, and remained cautiously optimistic under Starmer, is now declaring that it has had enough. The message across the party is crystal clear: withdraw these cuts, or get out of the way. If Starmer doesn't change course, the rebellion will only grow stronger. More MPs are speaking out daily. Former loyalists are becoming critics, and the countdown to a leadership crisis has already begun. This is no longer a mere policy disagreement, this is a crisis of trust, principle, and leadership. Keir Starmer has one chance left to save his position, reverse the cuts, issue a public apology, and begin to rebuild bridges with his fractured party. If he doesn't, it won't be the Tories who destroy him, it will be Labour, his own MPs, members, and activists, who force him out. And while all this turmoil unfolds at the top, another battle is brewing in Westminster. This time involving Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. Rayner is facing fierce resistance from members of the House of Lords over her flagship push to expand flexible working rights across the UK. The controversy surrounds the Employment Rights Bill, which proposes that workers should be allowed to request flexible working arrangements, including remote work and 4-day weeks, from the very first day of their employment. Rayner's goal is clear: modernize the UK workplace, empower employees, and create a better work-life balance. However, not everyone is on board. Lord Sharp of Epsom, a Conservative peer, has warned that unless national security services are exempt from these reforms, the country could be put at risk. Intelligence work, he argues, is inherently unpredictable and sensitive, involving secrecy, tight deadlines, and often life-or-death decisions.